When I look back, we were very blessed, the two of us, with each other, and Joss and all that happened. There's a great love between Joss and me and Joss and Maisie, part of the family. It's human to me, more so now because I'm sure Maisie's sitting there with me. And she'd say, "You're driving too fast," if I ever do. I would never dream of going anywhere without Joss. One would never get rid of it, never.
I am a car. I am more than a machine on four wheels. I become part of your life. I share your working days and your leisure hours. I am your home on wheels.
The Oxbridge connection continued in 1954 with the introduction of the slab-sided Austin-Cambridge. Its squarer lines reflected an increasing confidence in the two-year-old BMC, with a look that would soon be carried across the range.
I'm a homely car. I'm the proud possession of you and yours. I keep the family together. I make life run more smoothly.
For those families that required a certain class, BMC had more to offer than the standard Morris or Austin. They also had some distinguished pre-war marques to choose from. Tony Evans' association with the Wolseley 1500 started at the age of 18, when his father brought home the new family car.
I came home from work, and there it was, standing outside our semi-detached house in suburbia, looking absolutely magnificent. It shone all over. The choosing was a family affair because Mother had a say in the colour. I had a say perhaps in what was mechanically right. And Father had an overall choice, as he had a right to, because he was paying, because he liked the look of the car. It was a little bit cramped maybe for four people, but the whole feel of it was so right. The fact that it is such a cosy and inviting interior, and it looked traditionally restrained and British, and that appealed to us.
Launched in 1957, the 1500 was one of Wolseley's smallest ever cars, but its compact shell retained all the elegance of grander predecessors.
There was something of an upmarket cachet to Wolseley. You paid a little bit more than for your Morris and Austin and Ford, and for that you had a feeling of exclusivity. We took it for many holidays, up to North Wales and into the north of England, West Country. Four of us, quite closely coupled and packed in together. If you're going to somewhere like North Wales, especially back in 1960, you didn't want your car to let you down. The engine was big for the size of car. It walked up hills. We felt secure with that much power under the bonnet.
Having proved itself to Tony as a young man, the 1500 became an automatic choice when he later had his own family.
I was very keen to have another, and I thought Pauline would find it appealing too.
It was very comfortable and very reliable, yes, and good for the children too.
I think perhaps it was a sense of continuity. When you buy the products of your own country from an industry that's gone back a long way, it's something that you desire, not to be exotic and foreign.
But even in the 1500's heyday, moves were afoot within BMC to give the British family car a distinctly exotic edge. This was the shape of wings to come. Famed in the 60s for their solidity and style, the BMC Farina family still has one last place to go. But pounced upon by faster Fords, these old battering rams are more like lambs to the slaughter. This fall from grace is a far cry from the blessed marriage of the British Motor Corporation and a top Italian designer. In the mid-50s, BMC decided that to reduce costs, all 5 of its marques should share the same basic design. Unhappy with internal rivalry between Austin and Morris, they turned to Ferrari designer Farina. The English counties had been seduced by a Latin lover, and in 1959, the Farina family was born.
Before we'd had the conventional rounded shape, and suddenly we were faced with this brand new shape for the future. I was early 20s when all this happened, starting out on a career in the motor trade. In those days, basically, there was always great excitement when any new model appeared. We just couldn't wait to see them and to sort of start selling them.
Each model was styled and priced according to the badge, from around £800 for the basic Austin to over £1,000 for the top-of-the-range Riley. Whatever the price, Robin had little trouble selling them.
You sold it because it was a car which was bursting forth into the future. And I suppose, dare I say, you also sold it because it was a vehicle which not only had the British influence, which was rock solid and good, you also had the continental approach, which gave it a feeling of something a little bit different.
As for the Flash Gordon fins, Robin had some rather creative sales patter.
The fins were not only decorative, they were also extremely functional, in that when you were doing high speeds with the car, they would actually give you a beautifully straight line as opposed to wavering all over the road.
But Robin's relationship with the Farina wasn't purely professional.
This car I sold as a young salesman in 1959 to a colonel who had retired from the Indian Army. When he packed up driving at 92, I then took it over purely because there's so much sentimental value. So I've been concerned with it since its birth. Love it to bits, you know. I suppose it's part of one's life, really.